You're watching Buzz with Jess Lujan.
We're back with my in-studio guests, of course, University of Guam professors of Chamorro Studies, Ruth Mendiola, as well as Terry Concepcion Flores. Let me get that right, or my producer will hang me tomorrow. But anyway, because you are his sister. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Ladies, let me ask about this in regards to the awareness now. Last week we talked to Dr. Bavacqua. He's getting ready, and the university is getting ready to do an online Chamorro Studies, a certificate program. I think it's fantastic. Do you feel that sense? I mean, you must see that within, as you say, your classes are very diverse in regards to ages and races and all that. But do you see more now? I mean, not just majors, but electives. People want to take Chamorro electives.
Sure. I want to tell you, once way back, I'm not sure, maybe 5 years ago, I have a priest's brother, and I was kind of like, and he's proficient, he's coming from Saipan. He's like 79, I said, well, I have, I'm a proficient Chamorro, but there's still a lot of things that he said he needed to learn, which is the writing part. He does a lot of music, he writes music, and that really, taking the class really has helped him. And so, the immersion part is that we just speak Chamorro. That's all we do. Sometimes they say, "Oh my gosh, I'm really going to flunk this class," but that's how we learn. We have the total physical response. If you don't understand me, I'll just probably be moving my parts of my body, my hands, my head, nodding. So there is a lot of things that takes into play into understanding the language and not just speaking it.
Sure.
We need to show it.
Yeah. Now, the language, why is it harder? I mean, I hear this, I say that's applicable to myself as well. I'm more spoken than I am written. I'm written to a degree, but I'm definitely not as proficient in writing or even reading than I am in the spoken language, right? The spoken language. But is that because Chamorro was more of a spoken? Is that what it is? Because other languages, I mean, when you speak it, you write it as well. So we're more of a spoken language, right?
We're more of an oral language.
Yeah.
That's what happened with the Chamorro language. An oral language, it was then when Polly Sanvitores started to write the Chamorro language his way, I would say, where, because then again, there wouldn't be any correct way because it was never written. And so what had happened was he'll listen and then he'll write what it is he hears. But yes, definitely. But times have changed. We need to do more than just to speak the Chamorro language. We need to write it now. We need to be able to read it. People need to be able to read it with comprehension, and also listening to it and really understanding what it is that's happening.
Yeah.
And so definitely, it's not just an oral language anymore.
Yeah.
In order for us to hold on to our language, we need people to be proficient in the Chamorro, with the Chamorro.
Yeah, good example is one word can mean three different things, such as mangi means to write with the glottis stop at the end.
Sure.
Mangi means where, asking where, and mangi means delicious. So it's very important that they know how to pronounce it correctly and where the glottis stop is and where how many syllables.
No, I know this is great because as I'm speaking to you, I'm learning a lot, and it's always fantastic to learn. But when we go back again to languages, and I spoke to Dr. Bavacqua about this, about the ORU, and so when we go back to this, and we also have some Chamorros out there that will say, hey, well, I don't even want to be called Chamorro because that was a colonizer's view, basically, and we're really not Chamorros. And the Chamorro is interpretation, according to them, is the hind leg of a cow, the kadunchang, all that. So that's not what we are. But if in fact you had just said that Chamorro was an oral language, basically, wasn't really a written language until Father Sanvitores started writing it based on what he was hearing it. So when he was writing it based on his spelling and his knowledge of that's very close, like to Spanish. So again, back to that. what is in the indigenous way, the ORRO, the ORU, because I've heard people say, if you're writing in English and you're referring to Chamorro in English, you write the ORRO. If you're writing in Finno Chamorro and you're going to spell Chamorro, it's ORU. Is that, I mean, is that the norm at this? Is that the standard?
For myself,
accepted? Yeah.
Senor, for myself,
Yeah.
I write the RU. I've learned it.
Whether you're writing in English
Right.
or you're writing in
In
Chamorro,
Chamorro.
it's the RU.
I write the RU.
Okay.
Okay, and this is why this is. When we take a look at the Chamorro RRO, sure, and even at that, a long time ago, when you go through books that is already out there, was written a long time ago, you see several ways of writing Chamorro, spelling Chamorro. And so the RRO happened to be, I guess, people's favorite, right? We start to say and write RRO. But what happened with the RU? Then we started to establish the orthography, the grammar and the structure of the Chamorro language. And then this group of people are gotten together and says, this is how we should write Chamorro. And they didn't just sit down on their own. They had a linguist coming in to help with that. And so then that took place. And so with that in mind, we went ahead and we take a look at the structure. Guess what? It's the RU that's supposed to be the
That's supposed to be
correct.
said.
Right.
Yes.
That's it.
So it's Chamorro versus
Chamorro.
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 And so are you a
Okay.
Chamorro or
What
are
Chamorro?
you a Chamorro?
Okay. Well, we used to land in Hawaii and go back there and say, I'm Hawaiian. Pacific Islander. What is Chamorro? We're Guamanians, right? And all that. But anyway, ladies, in regards to again the resurgence, the wantonness. You said your classes are so diverse. I mean, you have politicians and all that, and of course I feel the resurgence, but you feel that as well with your classes. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have made the transition from DOE to the university if there wasn't a need, it wasn't a desire. So obviously there's that desire. So do you have again more inquiries going into the field that you ladies are in at this point?
The way I see it, I always speak with my partner here because we kind of like bond together in our ideas. I always asked many years ago, what happened to the Chamorro Language Institute? I don't see it at the university. Going to school there in the 80s, I don't see it. But now it may not be an institute, but just the Chamorro major itself is pretty big.
Yeah.
We've gotten from 2 to 3 classes a semester to 10.
Yeah, really? Wow.
So
Okay.
we've grown. We have approximately about 250 students
Oh, really?
picking up
Okay.
Chamorro language major and Chamorro studies, whether they're going to major it or not. So we definitely see that there is a need, and we need to continue on this drive because we have it here.
Now, let me ask you this, because in a couple months, you're going to have a commencement ceremony. Are you going to have students? They have students that are Chamorro majors that are going to be walking and be
Yes.
graduating?
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I can see with myself because now I'm picked up under the Chamorro Studies Division, and I specifically work with some of our teachers, mentoring them and whatnot. So I see that out of the 148, to probably 46 to be exact, we have less than 40 who's yet to get their degree.
Okay.
And definitely these 40 teachers now are they're majoring. So a lot of them have signed up already. And I think we're going to have 3 this semester and maybe the following semester. So it's not as many classes that they need because they already have the background. They have the elective and the
Sure,
other.
sure.
So all we need, I've talked to Dr. Hattori and myself, and we wanted to kind of like have a fast track. So eventually, I can't say 2 years, but maybe in a year and a half, less than 2 years, we're going to graduate the 40.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're going to be showing every commencement exercise you have. You're going to probably have students that will be graduating in the discipline of that major.
Right.
Well, that's fantastic.
And Senora Flores here has opened up a class.
There we go.
Saturday.
A Saturday class.
Oh, the Saturday classes.
Yeah.
Are these just
For
are these
our-
students that are interested in just auditing the class, or
Oh no,
just,
they're actually students. These
Oh,
okay.
are majority of them are teachers.
are teachers?
Teachers.
Okay, so for their certification and degree program.
Yes, yes. and they're
Fantastic.
wonderful.
I got to pay some bills, but when we come back, we only have time to say goodbye. Okay? But thank you very much.
That's that.
Be right back.